cari tahu tentangmu, tanggal dan tahun lahirmu. Ku pelajari rasi bintang, menebak pribadimu, toko kartun favoritmu, dan warna kegemaranmu. Ku telusuri di titik mana kita akan bertemu. Bius aku dengan tatapanmu, tatapanmu menyiksaku, tapi sungguh candu, sungguh candu. Dikali ku labirimu, takkan urungkan niatku. Betapa ku yakin kita berdua bisa menyatu. Jebak aku dalam labirinmu, labirinmu. Tersesatku dia di warnamu, pesonamu. Jebak aku dalam labirinmu, labirinmu, labirinmu. Tersesatku dia di warnamu, pesonamu. Cari tahu tentangmu, tanggal dan tahun lahirmu. Ku pelajari rasi bintang, menebak pribadimu. Bius aku dengan tatapanmu, tatapanmu. Menyiksaku, tapi sungguh candu, sungguh candu, sungguh candu. Aku dalam labirinmu, labirinmu, labirinmu. Tersesatku dia di warnamu, pesonamu. Dikali ku labirinmu, takkan urungkan niatku. Betapa ku yakin kita berdua bisa menyatu.
Jatuh hati padamu sepenuh hati, hidup pun akan ku beri, apapun kan ku lakui. Tapi tak pernah ku bermimpi kau tinggalkan aku pergi, tanpa tahu rasa ini. Rasaku membenci, tiba-tiba kamu datang saat kau telah dengan dia semakin hancur hatiku. Jangan datang lagi cinta, bagaimana aku bisa lupa? Padahal kau tahu keadaannya, kau bukanlah untukku. Jangan lagi rindu cinta, ku tak mau ada yang terluka. Bahagiakan dia, aku tak ada, biar aku yang pura-pura lupa. biar aku yang pura-pura lupa.
Kalau ini memang mau, silakan pergi menjauh dariku. Seharusnya ku tak memulai semua cerita antara kita yang kini tinggal kenangan. Akan ku buktikan bahwa ku bisa tanpamu. Kau memang tercipta bukan untuk bersamaku. Tapi ingatlah bahwa suatu hari nanti takkan kau temukan pada yang lain yang sangat mencintaimu lebih dariku. Hari demi hari ku lalui sendiri tanpa tawamu, tanpa candamu, tanpa manjamu. Memang ku akui sulit untuk lupakanmu. Namun semakin lama semakin ku terbiasa tanpa dirimu.
kisah cinta kita. Saat ku sedang sayang-sayangnya, apa ada dia yang lain yang beri semua yang ku tak punya. Kisah cinta kita. Saat ku sedang sayang-sayangnya, kini ku tak bisa memaksa, tapi ku harus bilang hatiku terluka. Kau putuskan kisah cinta kita.
Kadang ku kesal dengan sikapmu yang selalu bertanya mana perhatianku. Mungkin kau tak pernah merasakan apa yang ku lakukan di setiap pengorbananku. Selalu jadi yang kau mau, menjaga di setiap saat. Tapi kau tak melihatnya. Mana ada aku cuek, apalagi ku mikirin kamu. Tiap pagi ku selalu memikirkan kamu. Buka pintu hatimu agar kau tahu isi hatiku. Semua perjuanganku tertuju padamu.
Aku kehabisan cara untuk jelaskan padamu mengapa sulit untuk lupakanmu. Aku kehabisan cara untuk gambarkan padamu kau di mata dan di pandanganku. Coba sehari saja, coba satu hari saja kau jadi diriku, kau akan mengerti, kau akan mengerti bagaimana ku melihatmu, mengagumimu, menyayangi dari sudut pandangku, dari sudut pandangku. Aku kehabisan cara untuk gambarkan padamu kau di mata dan di pandanganku. Seandainya satu hari bertukar jiwa, kau akan mengerti dan berhenti bertanya-tanya. Coba sehari saja, satu hari saja kau jadi diriku, kau akan mengerti, kau akan mengerti bagaimana ku melihatmu. Coba sehari saja, satu hari saja kau jadi diriku, kau akan mengerti, kau akan mengerti bagaimana ku melihatmu, mengagumimu, menyayangimu, mengagumimu, menyayangimu dari sudut pandangku, dari sudut pandangku, oh, dari sudut pandangku, oh, dari sudut pandangku.
tak bisa. Tapi apa daya, ingin hati mencoba. Kau dan aku berbeda, itu kata mereka. Ku tutup telinga, denganmu akan ku hadapi segalanya. Meski badai datang dan kau merasa dunia tak restukan kita semua, kita hadapi berdua. Selama bintang mentari, bulan mentari beri cahaya, ku yakin takkan ada yang kalahkan cinta kita. Selama kita berdua. Kau dan aku berbeda, itu kata mereka. Ku tutup telinga, denganmu akan ku hadapi segalanya. Meski badai datang dan kau merasa dunia tak restukan kita semua, kita hadapi berdua. Selama bintang mentari, bulan mentari layari cahaya, ku yakin takkan ada yang kalahkan cinta kita. Selama kita berdua. Kalahkan cinta kita selama pipi langit jingga merona melihat kita bersama. Kan kau merasa dunia tak restukan kita, ku yakin takkan ada yang kalahkan cinta kita. Meskipun badai datang dan kau merasa dunia tak restukan kita semua, kita hadapi berdua. Selama bintang mentari, bulan mentari beri cahaya, ku yakin takkan ada yang kalahkan cinta kita. Selama kita berdua. Ku yakin takkan ada yang kalahkan cinta kita. Selama kita berdua.
Pagi hari menyapa dengan indah, ku tersenyum melihat kau masih lelap. Sudah dengan berbagai cara agar tak terlewatkan hari yang indah. Banyak hal yang telah kita lewati di setiap harinya. Denganmu ku mengerti arti cinta sesungguhnya.
Ku tak mendengar suara, ku tak lagi lihat senyuman yang selalu menghiasi hariku. Sewindu sudah kau tak berada di sisiku. Kau menghilang dari pandanganku. Tak tahu kini kau di mana. Ternyata belum siap aku kehilangan dirimu. Belum sanggup untuk jauh darimu, yang masih selalu ada dalam hatiku. Sewindu sudah kau tak berada di sisiku. Kau menghilang dari pandanganku. Oh, tak tahu kini kau di mana. Oh, ternyata belum siap aku kehilangan dirimu. Belum sanggup untuk jauh dari
Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I am George, we're all George. So I am streaming tonight, Friday night, and that's because this morning I had an internet issue, so I'm making it up to you guys. But tonight I want to talk about Bitcoin, of course. Should you buy or sell Bitcoin right now? There seems to be a lot of fear. The index, the crypto fear and greed index, is showing extreme fear. What should you do and what caused it? Well, let's discuss. As always, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. 2 streams almost every day, 11:30 and 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you hit that notification bell and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and check out all the latest news, article, and guides at cryptosaurus.com. Welcome, guys. Welcome. I am back to my normal office, so things should be running more smoothly going forward. But let's look at Bitcoin. Man, Bitcoin had a really good run until this one news hit this morning that kind of broke things. You could see we were doing really well during Thanksgiving. Bitcoin was pumping up from 55 all the way up to about $60,000, and it looked like it was mimicking what happened, I should say, in 2017, when after Thanksgiving, or I should say during Thanksgiving, it started going up until this happened all of a sudden, right? And why did it happen? Was it due to whalish games? Maybe a little bit of it, but mostly it's due to this new Omicron variant that was discovered in South Africa, and now this is making people antsy, scared. People don't know. This is supposedly a heavily mutated variant, so I don't know what that means. There is a chance of reinfection, it seems like people are speculating, right? So this is what caused the global scare today. So it wasn't just with Bitcoin. You could see right on top, Dow fell down 900 points, NASDAQ about 353 points. If you look at Europe, they fell down even more, 4 to 5%, which is huge. And Asia fell down quite a lot too. Okay, so this was not just a Bitcoin thing. And you could see the VEX, which measures volatility, went up 54%. This is what this new variant did today. Okay, so when there is fear like this, generally speaking, there's overselling. There's panic selling. People just sell off everything and go back to the standard, cash is king, right? So they want to make sure they have cash on the side in case things get lower. They want to protect their investments. So this is the reason why the crypto fear and greed index is now showing 21. Just last month, we were in greed mode. Just last week, we were in neutral. I should say yesterday we were neutral, not last week. Just yesterday we were neutral, and now this one day has made a lot of people fearful. Now it is at 21 and extreme fear. All right, so let's get to the bottom of this. Should you buy or sell Bitcoin? This index is showing extreme fear. There's a lot of fear out there. Should you buy or sell Bitcoin? Well, in my opinion, you buy. When things are cheap, when there's blood in the street, and honestly, there's not that much blood in the streets because Bitcoin is where it is. But when there's blood in the street and there's fear out there, especially extreme fear, what you want to do is take advantage. You want to buy when things are low, right? And we know that if it wasn't for this new variant news that came out today, Bitcoin will most likely be above 60,000, as the chart was indicating that there was just an upwards movement until this morning. And I do believe that this will continue unless, asterisk, that this new variant, there's many new developments that come from it and maybe causes more scare, then maybe that could drive things lower. But if it turns out to be what Kevin O'Leary calls a nothing burger, where it's just a new variant, but it's not any more deadly or infectious or anything like that, and there's no chance of reinfection. I mean, if it turns out to be a whole nothing burger, the markets will recover fast, very, very fast. And we know that Bitcoin is down right now, but it's never out. Bitcoin is what everyone is looking to get into. Right now, there is correlations with the equities market, but eventually it'll decouple. And the smart money, the big money and the smart money, they've already started moving away from cash, moving away from gold, moving away from equities. A lot of them have started entering Bitcoin right now. You may not believe that on a day like today, but this is the reason why Bitcoin is as big as it is. And to kind of reassure you guys a little bit more about why I think this is a good buying opportunity, I hardly bust out the charts, but I just have to show this because it's so obvious. So on the day chart, I just drew this out, okay? So from a technical perspective, Bitcoin is at a level that, you know what, was the bottom for this last two, I guess, lows, okay? You could clearly see that if you draw a trend line here, a trend line here, Bitcoin is in an upwards ascending channel right now. And the last time it formed the bottom was right around 29,000. Then it formed the bottom right around 40,000. And now, if this holds true, you know, this 54,000 or maybe a little bit below will be that new low. But Bitcoin is forming higher lows. And I drew a line in RSI, which shows that last time Bitcoin was, you know, at 28, 29, the RSI dropped about 34, 35. Same thing around here when Bitcoin fell to 40,000, right? It was around there. And if you look at RSI right now, that's where it's hovering. So even from a TA perspective, it's looking like this could be the point where Bitcoin starts reversing up and starts bouncing up. And if it stays within this channel, then that means the next market is right around $80,000, $90,000. So unfortunately, Plan B's 98,000 seems like that's not going to happen in November. There's a chance, just like there's a chance that any of you can win the Mega Millions or Powerball and win, you know, $500 million or $1 billion. There's always a chance, but it's slim. So right now, it does seem like that 98,000 prediction for Plan B is probably not going to hit. But I've said this over the last few weeks. If it doesn't, so what? So what? If we do see it in December, no one's going to care that one prediction was wrong, right? And it certainly doesn't invalidate stock to flow. And everyone else that has been coming out with models and charts and indicators and patterns, right? They're all doing their best to kind of show you and forecast what's coming, but nothing is 100%. Nothing ever is 100% because if it
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Heroes and Empires, which is a new play-to-earn game that's actually available now. It's been around for about 4 days. I started on day 2 of it and been thoroughly enjoying it. Now, this game is like an idle auto battler game, which is pretty much identical to the mechanics of the game that I play over on my main YouTube channel for just normal mobile gaming, not crypto gaming. So I was really curious to see the way they'd bring this format of game over into the crypto space, and I'm really liking it so far. Oh, and also, this is not a sponsored video or anything like that. People always ask. They're not paying me. They didn't give me an airdrop to make this video. Heroes, I just wanted to buy the cheap ones, a budget team, just so I could progress and experience the game. And then the prices have just been going up and up on them, really. So I don't know where it's going. I don't want to tell you guys to play because it is a bit of a steep buy-in when we talk about it. I'll show you the cost in a sec. But yeah, like when I go into these things every time, I'm just like, if I lose all my money, it's a learning experience. I just want to play a game and see how it goes. So enter at your own risk, as always. Do your own research, all that sort of stuff. I don't want the guilt of telling you guys to play something and then you spend your money and then the market crashes and then you're screwed. So I have luckily made back my initial investment and taken it out plus some. And everything else that I have in the game is basically just profit that I'm playing with. So I'm very chilled in the game now. I don't really care. What happens, but just so you guys know, if you do want to get into it. So this game is on the Binance Smart Chain, which means jack all gas fees, which is sick. So I'm happy about that at the moment. And what we have is basically you can get heroes. Now, teams have 5 heroes. They get quite expensive. What I might do is I might look at the entry, because people want to look at the entry level for here. So you've got common heroes, then rare heroes, then epic heroes, but they can all be ascended to higher tiers as well. Keep in mind, some of the common heroes, for instance, this caster minion, he is a common hero that has been ascended to rare. So if you're looking in the market, keep that in mind. Really have a look. What you can do if you want to get into the game is you can jump here into heroes, and you can actually see all the heroes. You can filter them by the faction or the class that you want, or both, and you can sort of get an idea, and just make sure you check the ones, because if you do find something that's common, they will only have the one ability when you look through them, and they will say common in the top left. So keep that in mind. But when you're looking at it, like at the moment, the floor for rare heroes is Durin at 124 tokens. Now the token is sitting around, at the time of recording this, like 50 cents to 54 cents. So you get the idea. This is around, like, what's that, like $60, $62-ish to get one hero. You need multiple, and obviously the better heroes, for instance, I think the most expensive one as a rare hero is Tusk, and he's at about 790. And that's actually not a bad. I don't have any more liquid. Otherwise, I would have picked that up, because that was an easy flip. Because the next one's for 842. But you get an idea for the cost of these guys, so it becomes very expensive. So you need 5 for a team. That's what you're looking at. So just to let you know, you can have a browse around on the market, browse at the characters. I may do another video talking about, best characters. It's a really interesting one. I love team building in this sense, because it's like, you're not team building for the best team specifically, you're team building for the best team in the price range of where the market's at. So I find it very interesting. Now, I did stock up very heavily on the market. I thought Vi in specific was very undervalued. So I snapped up, like, I think 3 extras of her today at like 200, or about $100 each, which I just think she's going to be good. One of the mods in the Discord, which take that with a massive grain of salt, said that they're going to make an announcement soon about scholarships. So I don't know whether that means they'll announce that they will have them, or they'll announce that they won't. I'm hoping they do have them, and I just think Vi's a great carry, so I'm stocking up on Vi's as the carry for scholarships if they do come around. If not, I can always use these to ascend her, because if we go over here to Commander and we go to Ascend Hero, as you can see, I need 2 more copies of Vi to actually get her ascended up into the epic tier. So either way, no matter what happens, I've picked up some cheap Vi's and I can go like that. And I have picked up a bunch of other things. I've picked up a bunch of mechs because I want to build a mech team, and then I've got my original team. And I'm not going to go too deep into the market side of stuff, but when we look at characters, they have all their different abilities. They got 2 different abilities. One is like more of a passive ability, and one is an active ability when their energy reaches full. And that's the basic way combat works. It's a really standard auto battler where you go into combat, you select your team, put it together. You can see your bonuses. You get different bonuses for having X amount of goblins. Over here, I get a bonus for having knights, and then I get an extra bonus for having 3 mages. So there's a lot of synergies that you can look at, and different stuff like that. As we go along, I'm going to put Vi in because she's just working a bit better for me. And yeah, that's pretty much the gist of the way it works. It's make faction bonuses, look at skills, find things. Ideally you want something that can take a few hits, something that can heal up, all that sort of stuff. Make a balanced team. You jump in, and it's just going to run through like your standard auto battler. You're going to run into combat. You're going to start smacking things. They've got the blue bar, being the mana bar, I think they call it in this game, or the energy bar in other games, and then you got the green one being your health. And when your blue bar gets to full, you'll use that ultimate ability that's going to do whatever the skill states that it'll do, and you go through and you cruise like that. Now, this being an idle auto battler means that you don't actually repeat stages. Like, once you've cleared a stage, that's it, it's gone forever. You're only working forward, so you just keep moving forward. That's the idea. As you can see, now I'm up to stage 6-2, and I'll just keep going forward. Now, the further you get, the better your idle rewards get. So you can see here I haven't collected this for an hour and 37 minutes, so it's going to generate me some in-game gold, some experience, and I got a pair of boots from it, so you can get all that different sort of stuff. That's leveled up my account level. Now, as we look at sort of questing, so you can see when we talk about the token, from dailies you're going to get 25 of the token plus 10 of the token, plus you can get another 9 at the base level. So you can get like 44 of the token per day, which may seem like a lot when it's at 50 cents. You can get like $22 a day. However, the game incentivizes spending these tokens so much that you're never actually taking the tokens out of the game. I think it's been designed really well in that sense. For instance, if we look over here at heroes, say I want to limit break this hero. Limit breaks happen at level 10 to 11, 20 to 21, 40 to 41, 60 to 61, 80 to 81, and then I think every 20 levels after that. And they keep getting more expensive. So for instance, this character, if I wanted to get it from level 60 to 61, I need to use 30 of the token. So you can see where
So after releasing 2 previous videos on the doubles return of serve and encouraging you to stand as close to the service line as possible, we had so many people saying, well, how do I get the flick serve back? So in this video, we're going to teach you the best way to return the flick serve and give you some ideas of shots you can play depending on your position. There's nothing like this on YouTube that goes into this much detail. So first, we're going to cover your starting position, your racket preparation, and then your movement. For the starting position, you should be in a position similar to this, with your feet nice and wide and legs slightly bent, ready to push off. Now you'll see some players will stand a little bit with the feet closer to them, and some players with the feet a little bit wider. Whatever you do, you need to be at even balance, ready to push off either forwards or backwards. Your front foot should be slightly sideways like this, not directly forwards or too much to the side, as you won't get much power in your push-off. Facing forwards with a slight angle like this means you can also use the outside of your foot and your glute to really push off. And where on the court should you stand? Well, as with how wide you should have your feet apart, you'll need to experiment with this, but hold that thought, as we'll come back to it in just a second, as it also depends on your movement.
We're just going to talk about the racket preparation and grip before we move on to this. So, when you're ready to receive the serve, you want to be stood in a neutral bevel grip, ready to switch to either the forehand or the backhand. And you want your racket to be slightly out in front of you so that you can take the short serve earlier, and also so that you're not tucked in, ready for the flick serve. Having it slightly out in front of you will also mean you're more ready for the drive serve. So, in summary, when you're receiving the serve, you don't want to be stood like this, you don't want to be stood like this, you don't want to be tucked in, and you also don't want to be stood like this.
How you then move from the starting position and getting the general movement pattern right can help you so much. And then the movement will depend on which side they flick to and also the height of the flick. So for that first push off, you actually want a quick initial movement from both legs, and then you drive from this front leg, transferring the weight onto your back leg to begin your backwards movement.
There are 2 options for the movement. First up is the chassé step. For this movement, you should push off your front leg and then lift your back leg up to help you adjust your positioning. Next, bring your front leg to where your back leg was. At this point, it will be time for you to start your swing. You should try to position your back leg roughly in line with the shuttle. Your back leg then pushes off the floor to initiate the scissor kick. Sometimes you might be really anticipating the short serve, or the flick might be really deceptive, so you may have to lean back like this. This obviously isn't the ideal movement, but may be necessary. The other movement you can do is a single jump back. This is used more when the flick is flat or you're really explosive moving backwards. Similar to the chassé step movement, you should drive off your front leg, and your back leg then lifts off the floor, again to help you adjust your positioning. As you put your back leg back on the floor, push off with both legs to jump backwards. From this jump, you can either jump out to land on your racket leg or kick through to land on your non-racket leg. This will depend on where the flick is to, as Greg will now discuss.
Now, as I mentioned earlier, your movement will depend which side they flick to. If they flick to your round the head side, then you will always use the scissor kick. And if they flick to your forehand side, then it depends on the height of the flick. If it's a flat flick and you don't have much time, then you will jump out to it. Whereas if it's a higher flick, then you may revert to another scissor kick.
Now, back to where you should stand. If you're blessed with being fast and powerful, then you should stand as close to the service line as possible so that you can take the short serve earlier and hopefully play a better shot. As I've said in a previous video, many people will actually surprise themselves how close they can stand to the service line while still being able to get the flick back. If you're not blessed with this, then it's okay to stand a bit further back, but over time try and slowly move your starting position forwards. Maybe check out our explosive leg strength video for a great starting point on improving your explosive power.
Now firstly, if you haven't quite mastered the tips we've given in this video and are taking the return of serve quite late and are under pressure, then it isn't always a bad idea to play a clear. especially if you and your partner have good defence. It might be better than playing a smash or drop off balance, as then your opponents can really step in and counter you.
Of course, it's ideal if you use our tips to get into a better position. And from this better position, you have several options: a smash, a slice, or a drop. And for any of these shots, you can either hit it straight, to the middle, or fully cross court.
If we hit straight onto our opponent's rackets, then we may be in trouble. However, if we hit to a gap in the court, then we may be able to play a winning shot or gain the initiative in the rally. It's also effective to smash back at the server, as they might not have had enough time to go back and react to this smash. And in general, this is something we need to think about when attacking a flick serve.
And last but not least, you'll often find habits or patterns with your opponent's serve. Some players will flick a lot, whereas others just won't flick at all. If you notice in a match that your opponent isn't flicking, it might just be because they can't. In this case, you would stand closer to the service line to take advantage. In contrast, if they're flicking a lot, then you would stand further back. We hope you found this tutorial useful. We definitely recommend practicing it before you go into a match. And if you have enjoyed it, please give it a like, smash the subscribe button, and the next step in the process is to develop your low return of serve, which you can do by watching this video here. And if you've already mastered that, then you can watch this video here, which is recommended for you. Enjoy! And welcome back to Badminton Insight. So we've recently hit 50,000 subscribers here on YouTube. That number still sounds crazy to us. Imagine 50,000 people in a room or a stadium. 50,000 of you choosing to watch our videos and subscribing to our channel. So we just wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone who's watched, liked, commented, subscribed and shared our videos since we started.
Anyway, apparently there's a tradition on YouTube to do a Q&A when you hit 50,000 subscribers. So we thought we'd do one for you, as it might be a nice way for you guys to get to know us a little bit better, rather than just Greg and Jenny who make videos on the internet about all things badminton.
So we asked you guys on our Instagram page and our community tab for some questions, and we had loads. Probably too many to fit into a video, but we'll try our best. So we've split them down into badminton related questions and some more personal life related questions. Don't forget to stay tuned to the end of the video where we'll be announcing our giveaway winner. So let's head to the hall and get started.
Okay, so we're just going to start with some of the most popular questions you guys asked. So firstly, we both started playing when we were very young. Our parents got us into the game, so maybe 4 or 5 years old, and gradually progressed through that. Rackets we're currently using, I'm currently using the Victor Aura Speed 90K, and Jen is using the Thruster VXR. And then how long have we known each other? Well, probably since we were around 10 years old, so 16 years or so now. And are we a couple? Well, you'll have to wait and find out.
Okay, so moving on to the questions. First one is from Nihal Samir, who asked, what are some tips to always be aware of during a game? Wishing you all the best. Love your guys' channel. Thank you very much, Nihal. So some of the things that we'd say that you need to be wary of, like kind of looking for straight from the outset, is firstly what hand they play with. I think both me and Greg, we've definitely caught people out in the past just by being a left-hander. You also need to be aware of your own strengths and weaknesses and how you can use them to your advantage in the game, or try and mitigate your weaknesses. And then also look out for your opponent's strengths and weaknesses and how you can use those to win some more points. And the final thing I'd say is the shuttle speed.
So second question, we've got Ryoni asking, how did you make it to international competition from the youth stages? Congrats on your 50k. Well, thank you again. How do we make it? I think listening to some great advice from our coaches in the past, and also some clever adaptations to our training, and obviously training a lot more. So smart training, quite hard work as well.
Okay, so Ricardo Blanco asked us, how much do you train a day? So on a typical weekday, we train for around 5 or 6 hours. And we also had quite a few people ask us what our daily schedule looks like. So on a typical day, let's drop the phone. On a typical day, we'd wake up at around 6:30, 7. We'd be on court training from anywhere around 8, 8:30 until 11 o'clock. And then most days we're actually back in here filming over lunch times. Sometimes Greg might go up and string. And if we don't have any filming that day, we'll do some other Badminton Insight work, replying to comments and emails or something like that. And then in the afternoon, we have another on-court session, followed up by some weights or a CV. And then in the evenings, Greg's either stringing and coaching, and I'm doing Badminton Insight work, or Greg's, when he's not coaching, he's doing some Badminton Insight work with me as well.
So in general, we both have pretty hectic, full-on days, but we like being busy.
So Stan has asked,
Stan the man.
yeah, so Stan the man has asked, how do I improve my mixed game? I mean, that's a whole video in itself, and we'll be definitely doing a video on that soonish, so stay tuned for that one, Stan. My tips would be mainly try and set your girl up, that's what I like to do, so adding variety, not just hitting everything hard, and getting in good positions in the mid-court and rear court for the guy, and the girl just being dominant in the net, I'd say.
Okay, so next question is, why have you started making these tutorial videos? And the question is for both of you.
Cryptocurrency. Nothing. Take a second to skim over the timestamps I've left in the video timeline. You can use them to skip around, but if you watch the whole way through, that would be mighty fine. Now that you know the sitch, let's take a look at a few crypto billionaires and how they got rich. Before I get into the list, I should probably explain how I put it together. Figuring out who the richest people in cryptocurrency actually are is much easier said than done, and this is for a few reasons. First, there are lots of unknown whales that hold tens of billions of dollars in high market cap cryptocurrencies. For example, there's the mysterious Dogecoin whale who currently holds nearly $12 billion worth of Doge. This would make them one of the richest, if not the richest person in crypto, assuming they're a person and not a company, of course. Similarly, Bitcoin creator Satoshi Nakamoto is believed to have 1 million Bitcoin in his possession across multiple wallets. Now, whether this so-called tulip trust actually exists has been debated, but if it does, it would mean Satoshi holds over $37 billion in Bitcoin at its current price. This would make Satoshi the richest person in cryptocurrency and one of the richest people on the planet. Since we don't know who these anonymous whales are and also can't verify their total crypto holdings, I haven't included them on this list. And this brings me to my second rich list criterion, and that's all the crypto billionaires I'll be mentioning in this video actually have billions of dollars in cryptocurrency. That's because there are many cryptocurrency billionaires who hold most of their wealth in non-crypto assets, and that arguably disqualifies them from being a true crypto billionaire. For example, Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong is technically the richest person in crypto with a net worth of $8.5 billion. However, most of Brian's net worth comes from his 19% stake in Coinbase, which has a market cap of $48 billion and not his crypto holdings. And moreover, I couldn't find any information on his crypto holdings. Similarly, MicroStrategy CEO Michael Saylor has a net worth of $2 billion, but this is mostly because of his stake in MicroStrategy, which holds over $2.2 billion in Bitcoin on its balance sheets. Now that said, Michael personally holds around 18,000 Bitcoin worth $670 million, which still makes him one of the wealthiest crypto holders out there. And finally, it should go without saying that this rich list will likely change, since the cryptocurrencies these billionaires hold will change in value over time, possibly even before this video hits the tube. Two crypto billionaires seem to be tied for 6th place. These are Tim Draper and Max Keiser. Tim holds at least $1 billion in Bitcoin alone, and Max likely holds a similar amount. Tim comes from an extremely wealthy background, consisting of venture capitalists, Hollywood actors and actresses, and government officials. He holds a bachelor's and a master's degree from 2 Ivy League universities and has a long history of being a visionary investor. For example, he became one of the first US venture capitalists to invest in a Chinese company when he bought a 28% stake in Baidu for $9 million in 2001. Baidu is now worth over $67 billion. In 2006, Tim's VC firm was part of a funding round for Tesla. I wasn't able to figure out exactly how many shares he got, but it is likely in the billions of dollars as well. Tim's personal crypto fortune comes from his famous 2014 purchase of Bitcoin that had been confiscated by US authorities as part of their crackdown on the Silk Road darknet marketplace. The US Marshals Service auctioned off 30,000 BTC, which landed in Tim's wallet for $19 million. Tim continues to hodl that BTC to this day and has since bought an unknown amount of altcoins, including Bitcoin Cash, XRP, Aragon, and Tezos. This is in stark contrast to Max Kaiser, who is a die-hard Bitcoin maximalist. Max's investing career began back in the 80s when he worked as a stockbroker at an investment bank in New York City. His experience on Wall Street turned him into an outspoken critic of the current financial system and fiat currencies, which are constantly being devalued by government printing. Max has built his career on his critiques, and when this new career began, the best hedges against fiat currencies were gold and silver. Max continued to stack both until 2011, when he heard about Bitcoin and realized that it was nothing less than digital gold. While Max's exact Bitcoin holdings are not known, he started buying BTC when it was just $1 and has given away thousands of BTC to friends, most notably 10,000 BTC to Alex Jones, which he lost. In a 2013 episode of the Kaiser Report, Max announced that he had become a Bitcoin millionaire. Now, given the price of BTC at the time, this works out to about 25k BTC. And since Max has continued to buy Bitcoin since then, this would put his crypto holdings on a par with Tim Draper's and land Max a net worth in crypto just north of $1 billion. The fifth biggest crypto billionaire is none other than Ethereum founder Vitalik Buterin, who currently holds more than 334,000 ETH. Vitalik also holds hundreds of millions of dollars in Bitcoin and other altcoins, which gives him an approximate crypto net worth of $1.5 billion. Vitalik's Ethereum wallet address has been known since late 2018, when he shared it over Twitter in response to criticism over Ethereum's pre-mine. As part of this thread, Vitalik notes that he has never held more than 1% of all the ETH in circulation. Given that Ethereum had a pre-mine of roughly 73 million coins, this means that Vitalik has likely never held more than around 730,000 ETH. Most of Vitalik's initial ETH was sold between 2015 and 2018 for roughly $50 million in total, which is peanuts compared to what that ETH would be worth now. Vitalik first learned about cryptocurrency from his dad, who told him about Bitcoin in 2011. A few months later, Vitalik began writing for the now famous Bitcoin magazine and became one of its co-founders. What's crazy is that in 2012, Vitalik applied to work at Ripple and was accepted, but couldn't start his position due to visa issues. Now that is a parallel universe I wouldn't mind exploring. Anyways, while studying at the University of Waterloo, Vitalik tried and failed to create elaborate smart contracts on the Bitcoin blockchain. This led him to create a new cryptocurrency that would be more programmable and scalable, and the name of that cryptocurrency was obviously Ethereum. Vitalik penned the Ethereum white paper in 2013 and dropped out of university to work on his new project full-time. Ethereum went live in 2015 with Vitalik and 7 others being credited as its founders. Ethereum's other co-founders continue to be some of the richest people in crypto, notably Joseph Lubin, who is the founder of Consensus, one of the largest companies that works on Ethereum. The fourth biggest crypto billionaires are the Winklevoss twins, with each twin holding between $2 and $3 billion in cryptocurrency, mostly Bitcoin. Tyler and Cameron are savants in every sense of the word. For starters, when they were kids, they taught themselves how to code and started a web development company. As teenagers, they learned Latin and Greek and played multiple musical instruments at a proficient level. As young adults, Tyler and Cameron both studied at Harvard and Oxford and even competed in the 2008 Olympics, where they placed 6th in coxless rowing. Now, what Tyler and Cameron are most famous for, however, is suing Facebook in 2004 on the grounds that Mark Zuckerberg had stolen their idea. This is because the trio had worked together on another social media platform, and Zuckerberg had copied some of the code to create Facebook. Tyler and Cameron settled the lawsuit in early 2008, landing them $20 million in cash and $45 million in Facebook stock. While on holiday in Ibiza in 2013, Tyler and Cameron learned about Bitcoin and subsequently decided to buy 1% of all the BTC in circulation. This is because they believed and continue to believe that Bitcoin's market cap will grow to be as large as gold's. 1 year later, the duo founded the now famous Gemini cryptocurrency exchange, which has lagged behind in adoption due to its religious adherence to inconsistent crypto regulations in the US. At the Bitcoin conference in Miami the other weekend, the pair noted that they will not even think about selling any more BTC until it hits a price tag of 500k. Even when it gets that expensive, they said that they will most likely use it as collateral to take out loans for any money they would need. For those who don't know, this is a clever way to avoid capital gains tax in the United States, and it's the same thing other Bitcoin billionaires do, including Max Kaiser. The reason it's possible is because the underlying asset never gets sold, meaning a capital gain was never realized, even if you're borrowing cash against the asset in question. You can learn more about how to reduce your cryptocurrency tax burden by watching my video about that using the link up there in the top right. The third biggest crypto billionaire is Ripple co-founder Chris Larsen, who holds anywhere between 5.2 and 7.8 billion XRP. Now this roughly corresponds to $5 and $7.8 billion at XRP's current price of around $1. The reason for this huge range has to do with the conflicting information about Chris's XRP holdings from two reputable sources. The first is Forbes, which noted that Chris has roughly 5.2 billion XRP in 2018. The second comes from the SEC lawsuit against Ripple and its top executives last December, which notes that Chris had sold 1.7 billion XRP to date. The 7.8 billion figure comes from subtracting the 1.7 billion XRP in the SEC's suit from Chris's initial XRP allocation of 9.5 billion. Chris holds a Bachelor of Science and a Master's degree from the Stanford Graduate School of Business, which is famous for being the most selective business school in the world. Chris has founded and sold many startups over his 30-year career in technology and has always kept a close eye on digital currencies. He co-founded Ripple Labs with Jed McCaleb in 2012, who is also the co-founder of Stellar and the now defunct Mt. Gox cryptocurrency exchange. Jed McCaleb was also allocated 9.5 billion XRP, but he has already sold most of it. Depending on who you ask, Jed has between 300 and 600 million XRP left to sell. All XRP allocated to Ripple's founders is subject to a vesting schedule that will last until 2026, assuming the SEC doesn't succeed in its case against Ripple, in which case Chris's XRP would be unsellable by law. Luckily for Ripple, the future appears to be in its favor, and you can learn about the latest updates from the Ripple lawsuit by watching my video about it. Link is in the usual spot, top right. The second biggest crypto billionaire is Sam Bankman-Fried, founder of Alameda Research and the FTX cryptocurrency exchange. Although Sam's exact crypto holdings are not known, I estimate them to total anywhere between $5 and $10 billion. This is primarily because of the team allocations of FTX's FTT token and the Serum Dex's SRM token, which have fully diluted market caps in the tens of billions of dollars. The FTX team has also received a sizable share of the various tokens that have launched on its platform. And I imagine Sam holds a decent amount of Solana, given that it hosts the Serum Dex. Like Chris Larsen's XRP, all these tokens allocated to FTX team members are subject to lengthy vesting schedules, meaning Sam doesn't have all of this cryptocurrency on hand per se. After receiving a degree in physics from MIT, Sam worked for a famous trading firm on Wall Street before going on to found Alameda Research in 2017. Alameda Research is a cryptocurrency trading firm that specializes in liquidity provision for cryptocurrency exchanges. Now, in plain English, liquidity provision means they basically make sure there's always enough cryptocurrency on exchanges for traders to trade. Sam's claim to fame was the arbitrage trades he conducted with Alameda Research between cryptocurrency markets in the US and Japan during the last bull run. As some of you may know, the price of cryptocurrencies can be much higher in some Asian countries due to regulations around transferring money overseas. The best known example of this is the kimchi premium, which saw Bitcoin trading at a 30% markup in South Korea in early 2018. Sam noticed that a similar price premium of about 10% was consistently present in Japan at the time. Naturally, he decided to start buying up a bunch of Bitcoin in the United States to sell for a 10% profit on Japanese crypto markets. In a recent interview, Sam explained that Alameda practiced the process with just $200 before going in with larger sums of money. It didn't take long before they were stopped by banks on both sides of the ocean, who thought Alameda was laundering money. Sam said they had to hire teams of translators and legal experts to tell all these money middlemen what an arbitrage trade was, and even considered physically flying between countries to execute the trades. At the peak of this process, Alameda was selling tens of millions of dollars of US bought Bitcoin on Japanese markets every day, making more money than Sam could ever have imagined. Alameda has consequently become one of the largest movers of money in the crypto space, providing liquidity for more than 10% of all cryptocurrency exchange trading volume on any given day. The FTX Derivatives Exchange is Sam's second endeavor, and it has become one of the most popular cryptocurrency exchanges since it was founded in 2019. Alameda and FTX have been piling hundreds of millions of dollars into various cryptocurrency projects, sponsorships, and advertising campaigns. The kickbacks from those initiatives continue to increase Sam's well-deserved wealth, part of which he routinely donates to various causes. And the richest person in cryptocurrency is, drumroll please, Binance founder Changpeng Zhao. This might come as a surprise if you look up CZ official net worth, which is listed at around $2 billion. However, CZ's history and the initial allocation of